everybody, everyone, all of you animal lovers, people who care about animals, the welfare of them. Welcome to the show, the Cat Chat Show, with David Stanton and my very lovely co-host up there on the wall, Carole Baskin. Look at her, she's like an angel. Oh, all of a sudden I don't hear her voice.
I hear what's there. She's on 4?
Yeah, US. Okay, can I hear you there, Carole?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Oh, okay.
I'm hearing my voice as well, even though I have the television turned off.
I think she might be up a little bit too high. You want to go ahead and talk again?
I am looking forward to sharing some of these kitten photos with everybody.
Good. Go ahead and turn the booth monitor speakers down. That would be much.
There will be kittens!
Yes! Now, say that again.
I said there will be kittens!
Yeah, so like some kittens are gonna be born, or?
Actually, we just had a kitten rescued this morning that came in. It was during a police investigation last night, where they heard this kitten screaming in the bushes outside of a place that they had just been, and one of the people that was one of the police officers along for the ride said, I can't just leave this cat here, so they waited for an hour to see if the mother came back to get the kitten, and when she didn't, they brought the cat here. So that's our newest rescue, and then we rescued another one last night.
Now, you can let us know when you want to go to video, but was that the video that you sent? Is that of that cat?
The one that we rescued last night is the video. Well, I don't know if I sent you the video of the kitten being fed, because I don't think Jamie has sent that to me. I sent you photos of some of the kittens that we have just now gotten completely through the foster kitten program, and took back to the Humane Society to be fixed and adopted.
What is the video you sent?
I'm looking in the folder that I sent you to see what I sent.
What's the name of it? Buttons 2013.
Oh, okay. Buttons is one of the kittens who last week she got old enough to get spayed, and so we took her back to the Humane Society. And if you could cue up that video of her, I can't see what you're playing because there's such a long lag. So let me know when you're ready for me to tell about Buttons.
Now. Oh, look at that. I could just eat them. David's done. You know, everybody knows David's kryptonite is kittens. It is. I would do anything in the world for them. I mean, there's just something about them. Now, the Humane Society, they're going to place all the kittens that you had, right?
Yes, the program that we work with is in conjunction with fosteringIsCool.com and the Humane Society of the Tampa Bay. So what happens is if people dump their cats or their kittens at the animal shelter, animal services, the Humane Society of Tampa Bay will go in and pull those kittens who need to be nursed until they're old enough to be adopted. And then we take those kittens, we nurse them, we get them up to 2 pounds, and then we take them back to the Humane Society where they are spayed and then adopted out. So the little video that you have of Buttons is one of the kittens that we took back last week. She got spayed, and now she's waiting for a home, and she really, really, really wants a good home. So I'm hoping there's somebody who's watching who has other cats, because she loves other cats, and wants a really special kitten. The other photos that I gave you were the kittens that I took back to the Humane Society yesterday. And those were Jamie and Justine, who were named after our Jamie and Dr. Justin, and Sheldon and Hunter. So Jamie and Justine are the 2 blue and white bicolor kittens that you see in the pictures. Are you showing pictures?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Those are the 2 blue and white or gray and white kittens.
Right.
The little brown tabby is Hunter, and the little black kitten is Sheldon. And they all just reached 2 pounds. As soon as they reach 2 pounds, we take them back and get them fixed. And they will be ready for adoption starting probably tomorrow. And then that mother cat that you see in there is Jen, and she's a black and white.
that black one, black and white one.
Yeah, she is the sweetest cat ever. Oh my goodness, she's such a love. And so now that she's through raising her kittens, she's going in to get spayed, and it's going to be a lot harder for her to find a family because people love kittens, but it's hard to find homes sometimes for the older cats. So I'm really hoping somebody will recognize what an incredible cat that she is and give her a good home.
Oh, looks like me and Carole. Well, me and Carole hang out. We're like two little cats.
And you spelled Humane Society wrong. It's Humane.
Oh, that's the Human Society. She said she's sorry. That is the Humane Society, not the Human Society, because we can care less about humans. But animals are great.
So all those kittens are available now at the Humane Society, and if you call and tell them you want to adopt one of Big Cat Rescue's kittens, they can hook you up with these kittens that you're seeing in the pictures.
Oh, no, I think that's correct. That one, the address part. Is it Humain?
Humane.
Oh, she messed up twice. Ooh, girl.
It's like every version of humane possible.
Yeah, like I never seen that word messed up twice. And it wasn't me this time. But it kind of was, because I should have did quality control. I should have caught that. Anyways, today we're hopefully our broadcast is a lot smoother today than in the past, because we had some upgrades and stuff like that. But anyways, hey, you know, why would anybody in the world, like, I heard that there are a few select people in the world that do not like the Humane Society. What in the world could somebody not like the Humane Society? Like what? What is it that's these people who do not like the Humane Society, do they say why?
Almost everybody who I have ever heard say anything negative about the Humane Society of the United States, which is different than the Humane Society of Tampa Bay that we were talking about with the kittens, the people who bash the Humane Society of the United States are typically breeders and dealers who have been exposed by the Humane Society, or factory farms that have been exposed by them. And so the way they try to mislead the public and make them think that the Humane Society of the United States is not doing good work is they'll say, they're not really a shelter like your local Humane Society, like the Humane Society of Tampa Bay. And so, you know, it's like, it's such a stupid argument because they never said that they're the local Humane Society. They have 5 shelters, which the bad guys never want you to talk about. These are 5 huge shelters that take care of all kinds of animals, from farmed animals to domestic animals to wild animals. And it's a very expensive proposition to take care of all of those shelters. They also do all of the rescue type work whenever you hear about a tornado wiping out an area or a hurricane wiping out an area.
Like
it's the Humane Society of the United States.
Well, you know, there's another important thing that people who put down the Humane Society tend to maybe not know or something, so let me tell you. Like, you know, to get things done in the world of politics, you know, to get animal protection and this and that, you have to have things called lobbying, in a way. I mean, there's got to be somebody. These local humane societies do not have the funds or the resources or the manpower and all that to go and, you know, seek out proper legislation that would help animals, you know, protect them. So you have to have a force that can do that. And that's kind of where the Humane Society of America comes in. You know, and so they have been accused of, you know, people donating to them when they wanted to donate to their local shelter. You know, but they went to the Humane Society of the United States. Now, the only thing I can say to that is, you know, I would recommend reading closer. You know, if you want to, you know, call your Humane Society on the phone. You know, the ones you see on the TV. That's, I mean, just all you have to do is read a little bit closer. But it's still, but in a way, it still goes down. It still goes to an animal, in some form or fashion, either politically or physically. You know, but if you're...
And the way I feel about it it's so much more important, the work that the Humane Society of the United States is doing.
I know.
Because they are the ones that are getting the laws changed and saving hundreds of thousands of animals. They're the ones involved in the puppy mill rescues and all of those kinds of exposés that cannot be handled by the smaller local humane societies.
And that stuff takes money. I'm sure any of you have ever been in a court, anything, like if you pass a court, it costs $25 if you just walk by it. I'm serious, like court cost is extremely, utterly expensive. Seriously, it is. To lobby, I hate that word lobbying, but to try to seek, protection for political stuff, that stuff takes money. It takes a long time. The longer it takes, the more expensive it is. So it's very, very important that you give to both humane societies. That's what I would do.
And there's two different divisions to the Humane Society of the United States. There is the Humane Society of the United States, which can only spend about 5% of their money on those kinds of lobbying efforts. But then there's the Humane Society Legislative Fund. And that legislative fund can spend all of its money on getting laws changed. And that's the harder money to raise, because people love to send money to rescue a puppy from a puppy mill, or to send money to save the seals from being slaughtered.
Right.
But the real work, the real important work, is being done by the Humane Society's legislative fund, and
right.
That's the more difficult money to raise. So when people ask me, how can I make the donation that's going to make the most impact, often I won't tell them to donate to us. I'll tell them to donate to the Humane Society's legislative fund, because I know from experience that's where hundreds of thousands of animals will benefit.
I was watching Nightline last night, Nightline or Dateline, whatever it's called, and they were doing a piece on a story on the animal trade, which is breeding animals and selling them in Colombia. And literally along the street, you have these people, they go out into the jungle and they capture animals, like this big thing with sloths, right? And monkeys. Right, so they sell these baby sloths, holding them up in the air to traffic buyers for $30. $30. And then little monkeys, this one little monkey they were showing, it was shaking and all this stuff, right, that they stole from its mother and was selling it for like $15. So then, they're real crazy and mean, right? So then the people who was filming, they thought they were going to get killed if they didn't buy the animals. So they actually had to buy this whole big batch of sloths for $125.
And then what are you going to do with a bunch of sloths? Hopefully they took them back in the woods and let them loose again.
Well, actually, believe it or not, when they capture them, if they are able to buy them, so to speak, right after the people capture them, then they can hurry up and get them back into the wild. They take them to another part of Colombia and release them there. But that's usually not the case. But then they were showing, because a sloth is, people think they're cute and everything like that. That's why they're selling them on the street, because they're slow and they got that perpetual smile, which is, these are all characteristics and everything that they need in the rainforest. They're not for humans to think they're cute and cuddle and all that. They're dirty. They're just specialized. They need like 200 different plants they have to eat and all this stuff. Most all of them die in captivity. Matter of fact, you never see 3-claw sloths in zoos. The reason why is because zoos think they're way too hard to take care of. And if a zoo can't take care of an animal, why should your butt take care of an animal, or take care of a sloth, or even think of having one? So
I don't understand what makes somebody want to own a wild animal in the first place.
That is true. I think what pissed me off the most was that, and some of them, and then they also are breeding them as well. The ones that, because you can't really, matter of fact, it's very hard to breed sloths in captivity, but they were breeding a lot of other things, and this just kills me, because breeders, I cannot, when I say breeders, it sounds like people who breed exotic animals, even puppies, breeding any kind of animal, is just terrible, bad thing. It's not, I don't know. And maybe for your budget, it's not going to be bad, but, for the majority of it, it is so harmful to animals, and it's such a sad, sad, dreadful thing. Like, if you could have seen these animals in Colombia, just, I mean, you know, I wish I could have reached, I couldn't even sleep last night because of it. I can't watch those kind of shows. I'm serious. I get so affected by animal abuse that it's you know?
I don't know how you sleep between worrying about these animals in South America and worrying about whether or not your server is going to be alive when you get up.
Well, you know, I was watching this. I have to worry less because I was watching this program this morning, and they said that you're unattractive if you worry.
Oh dear.
Like that people, because there's like this survey or like, you know, a study on what's attractive and stuff. So people who are not worriers or depressed, obviously, are less attractive, or, you know, people who are not those are more attractive.
I genetically had these worry lines in my forehead, and whenever I give any kind of public speech or anything, Howie's always saying, "You look so worried, you look like you're frowning," and it's like, I can't help it, this is my face. Even if I'm happy, I still look like I'm worrying.
I know, it's hard not to worry, especially when you're responsible for a lot of stuff, you know, and I'm responsible for like a lot of stuff, and I'm responsible for I don't want to say for people's lives, but I'm responsible for a lot of activities in people's lives, and you know, I love responsibility, you know, and I'm not like, I actually don't worry that. I mean, like, I worry like in a good, wholesome way, because I'm totally enjoying my life. I totally love what I'm doing up to the fullest extent. I couldn't do it 18 hours or however more a day, hours. I don't even have hours. Here's my hours from when I wake up to when I go to bed. That is my hours. Seriously, I get here around 9 or 10, and then I stay here till 1 a.m. almost every day. And I just work the whole entire time. And I was telling Nancy over here, I don't know what it is. It's like a time vacuum here. In a few minutes, it's going to be nighttime. I'm serious. Time flies by so fast here. Doesn't it, Nancy? Does it for you too? And it's not like we're super busy, like, you know, working really hard. I think it's just that our procedures for everything takes a long time. You know, like to get a file into the scene here, you know, you got to download it, convert it, size it, enter. You know what I mean? There's always like a million little things. Like if you want to change a camera thing, well, that's all good. Got to change the lighting, got to refocus it, got to cue it up. You know what I'm saying? So, and I wouldn't ask for any other life in the world than what I am doing right now. Thank you.
I've been self-employed since I was 20 years old, and people always say, oh, it must be wonderful to not have a boss and to work for yourself. And the fact of the matter is that when you're self-employed, you tend to work way more hours than you would ever work at a 9-to-5 type job. But the difference is, like you said, that you love what you do, so it doesn't feel like you're working.
It doesn't.
You want to work those long hours.
I get angry and upset, and you know, just like at anything, but yet, like, it's a different type of angry and upset or something like that. I don't know. I really, really like it. Like, I feel like I won the lottery in life or something like that. Like, I do. Because I was sitting around, I was like, you know what? If I ever had to, like, not do this, I'm not sure what other kind of job would ever compare to the satisfaction I get from television and creating it and bringing this fabulous show to you guys.
Which is a great segue into saying that if you want to continue to see this kind of content, we really need some sponsors.
That's true.
That's what's going to make or break this whole internet TV thing, is whether or not we can get some people who want to advertise in front of a ton of people who love animals and get their message out there. And in fact, maybe you could talk a little bit about what kind of exposure they could get. I mean, could they get like one of these panels that you're seeing up on the wall, or would you be flashing them up like a commercial, or how would you handle sponsorship for, you know, somebody that's making a really significant sponsor amount?
Well, I'm so glad you should ask, especially about the panels. These particular panels behind us are fabulous windows, but they're also advertising panels. So if you would like to advertise in our show, we'll be glad to carry your, what side is this on? We'll be glad to carry your logo on one of these panels as a sponsor. And we'll talk about your product and whatever you're sponsoring, you know, and you can be part of the show. So if you want to do that, it's really simple. Okay, you contact me at david@wildanimaltelevision.com. And as a matter of fact, today our salespeople, our sales team officially started today.
Oh, good.
we had to wait for him to get back from New York because he's my business partner as well, and he's also a male model because got to be good looking to work around here. So he actually had to go finish a modeling thing, and now he's done. And now he came back and he just started. He's up there right now in the office working on some stuff. So for right now, just contact me. Excuse me. At david@wildanimaltelevision.com, and we have all kinds of pricing for you. Seriously, you can advertise on this show for as low as $50 if you.
Wow.
I mean, we got all different kinds of price scaling. We got stuff that you can. But I'll tell you about the statistics in a moment. But we got you could advertise for a whole month within the broadcast on this show. We're developing some more shows, so you could be a sponsor of those type of things. Now, the numbers that we get are quite astronomical in this.
Tell us about those numbers, David.
Well, our average thing used to be, which is pretty good in itself too, was 56,000 a day. It would fluctuate between 40-some thousand to 56, sometimes 60, 70, whatever. And then we expanded our relationship with Justin.tv, who we tremendously love. And they have brought us around 50 to 100,000 more viewers a day. The good thing about them is that the viewers for Justin TV watch a really long time, which I didn't think they would, because sites like that tend to be, the people who watch those sites tend to go through a lot of channels, because Justin TV has a lot of channels on it. But they watch ours for a really long time, so that's really good. So you are getting 100% guaranteed. The traffic that we get is a little bit over 100,000 people per day. Because how we distribute our station is on wildanimaltelevision.com and mondoclub.com and Justin.tv. Although I think the name in Justin.tv currently is Captive Animal TV, but that'll be changed at any moment.
And
okay.
When it's on Justin.tv, is that, I think you had said last time that that's live when we're doing this live?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And when will we have the on-demand portion on Wild Animal Television?
Well, you know what? Because how that's going to work is, our websites are being made and they're just delayed right now because the person who's doing them is just delaying things. So I know it makes me a little bit because see, that's when you're a boss, you have to answer questions like that. So when you rely on other people to do stuff for you, sometimes it's not always on time. So truthfully, that's the delay. I'm waiting on somebody. But I'm actually stepping in, and probably will just kind of do it myself. However, I have another station, but I know where you can find it at right this moment, but we won't worry about that. You know what? It'll be up this week. By the end of this week, I promise you. If not, cancel my show. Cancel Carole's show.
Actually, speaking of canceling the show, I have an idea. I desperately need to lose weight. And I've lost 4 pounds since our last show. And so what I got to thinking is, what if I said, I'm not going to do this show unless I lose at least 1 pound in between each show. So that would kind of make me lose that weight. And over the course of the next year, I'll finally get down to a weight that I feel comfortable at. Because right now I can't get in any of my clothes. I've just really let myself go and I'm embarrassed about it. And so I think it's a great way to kind of force myself to say, I can't do the show unless I lose a pound this week.
Now, folks, Carole used to be a model.
Yes.
See, like I said, only models work here. Actually, I think either you're a model or you're a past model. Carole, too. Carole ain't no exception. But she's really pretty. But now, here's the thing, though. We have to make sure that she likes doing the show. Because she might say, well, I don't like doing the show, so I'm not going to lose my pound. Although that's a lot of pounds to lose. That's a pound a week. Can you lose a pound a week?
I think I can.
Healthy.
I think you can lose 2.5 pounds a week healthily, and I've lost 4 in the last week. So, and haven't really done that much different.
What are you doing to lose weight? I think you look fine.
I meant to bring a copy of the bottle. It's something that my mother turned me on to. It's from Nutrilite, and it's an all-natural substance. But my problem with weight is that I'm hungry all the time. I am just starving out of my mind all the time because I don't have that enzyme that makes you feel like you've eaten.
Yeah.
And so I tend to constantly be snacking at stuff. And it's all healthy stuff because I'm a vegetarian, so I'm eating like apples and bananas and nuts and stuff like that. But still, this supplement has made me feel like I'm not hungry, which has been fabulous. And it doesn't have all of the stuff that like make your heart race and things like regular diet pills would that would be hard on your system. So I'm excited about it and really hoping that that will help.
Now, when Carole and I hang, we do like to go restauranting. Carole's great to hang out. Actually, her and Howard, we do like to go out to eat. They take me to restaurants, really nice ones too. And Florida up there, Florida is like such a tempting place to indulge, and because they have a lot of restaurants there and of any kind you could think of, it seems like.
Oh, that's for sure. And living, where we are right here at the sanctuary, we're right in, well, we're not in the Tampa City limits, but we're just surrounded by the malls and all of the major restaurant chains, and it's very easy to find yourself driving through a drive-through when you're going home late at the end of the day and picking up something that's not as good for you. In my case, mostly French fries.
Now, I noticed that there's a painting behind you. From what I remember, there was like this painting party. So whose is that painting that you have there? Is that the one you...
Can you see that?
Yeah.
This was done by the instructor for the class. She was the instructor who did the St. Petersburg edition, and then they had another class that was going on in Tampa, and the one in Tampa, they did a cityscape. But the instructor gave us this one, and then there's another one that looks just like this because everybody was painting the same picture that one of our supporters gave us after she got through painting that day. So I have one in one of the other offices and brought this one to hang on the wall as soon as I can find a hammer.
I don't know if you have any other kind of art stuff, but
I do.
I have this special place that would look great with a piece of Big Cat Rescue art on it. What
about a big, huge framed photo? Because we can do those very reasonably.
Nancy, right at the bottom of our steps, like when you come, the way it is here, you'll get I have to tell you, I'll be doing this really nice, with Nancy's help, this really nice walkthrough thing of the studio once it's done. But anyways, at the bottom of like when you come down to the studio floor, you go down these steps and then like you get on this landing, there's this great big white wall there. It's like the perfect place to showcase a really nice, a good thing, a piece of art or something like that. So I would like that to be the Wild Animal television wall.
Oh, nice.
So maybe get the logo painted on there and a piece of art. So could you send me a piece of art or something?
Sure. Just tell me, well, maybe when you're down there, take a picture of the space that you have and the rough idea of how many feet. Okay.
Great. Yeah, that would be awesome. Then we could, because TV stations do that. They like put their shows on the walls and or stuff about their station. Here at the Cat Chat Cafe. It's a new addition to our big station here. It's so funny because the table matches. Now,
I love that.
Just on a side note, in case you're all watching, I hope the broadcast is a lot more smoother, and it appears to be. Would you say so, Nancy?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
I'm seeing a combination on my end of it being very clear and very pixelated. It seems to go back and forth a lot.
Well, that pixelization is what they call the adaptive bitrate streaming kicking in. And I think I explained that to you all before, but I'll recap. What that is we use a thing called adaptive bitrate streaming. Opposed to, we could stream one stream, and it would just be all HD. And for people who might have connections that aren't good that day or something like that, like it won't let you see it. It'll buffer. So what adaptive bitrate streaming...
And I hate that.
Yeah, so what adaptive bitrate streaming does, it'll look at your... it happens within the hardware usually. It'll look at your connection and say... well, Well, actually, it doesn't happen. It happens on the servers things. But it looks at your connection and says, well, you're actually lower than what ours is, so then we'll reduce the broadcast signal and send it to you, just so that you're always getting it. But it just, so, like, it's that theory of, like, getting something is better than getting nothing.
True.
And now, and if you notice, like, sometimes we watch real late at night when nobody's on the internet, like, our broadcast is, like perfect in HD. So it all kind of depends on your own internet connection. But like it has its ups and downs. Its downer is like the stuff I now film with like our new beautiful cameras, right? That do like super duper or whatever. Now when I do a thing and I show it on the station, since it's so perfect, it actually the adaptive bitrate streaming kicks in, and then it gets blocky some of the stuff that's not blocky. And that kind of that's like a bummer.
Yeah. But how amazing that this technology is available to people like you and I for free, or close to free.
Well, yeah, the technology is for free. The overall thing isn't free.
That's true.
Like what the cost, the software. I mean, we'll say it's more affordable now than what we're doing right here was unattainable just a few years ago. You couldn't even think about doing it. It was just out of the range of thinking because it was way too expensive to do. And even the cameras. I remember when HD first came out, and
yes.
when HD first came out, to have a camera comparable to what I have now would probably have been $40,000. Now they're just a few thousand. But but basically you could start a show with no money if you have a webcam, a nice webcam. You know what, Carole, you are right. You could do this for free. There are a ton of free applications out there to do broadcasting. Justin TV, you could broadcast for free to Justin TV. You don't need all you need is a webcam.
YouTube.
Yeah, you could start your whole show. You could have your own. You could build an audience that way. Heck, there's people on Justin TV who have more viewers than me, and all they have is a webcam sitting up there. So you're right.
Speaking
it is quite amazing.
More viewers, we had Chuck Trippy out here a couple days ago, and he has something like 700,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Wow.
So he came out and did a little tour like the tour that you did here at the sanctuary, and then he posted a shortened version, I think a 7-minute version, to his people. And boy, we saw a huge spike in the number of people coming to our Facebook page and to our website. So big shout out to Chuck Trippy and his wife. Thank you very much. Her name's Allie, for coming out and sharing us with all of their fans.
Now when Carole says spike, she don't mean like a few hundred. Or 50,000. She means
no, we're talking 200,000. In fact, I think it was like 1.1 million people over the course of just a couple of days came, I think, largely because of his sharing us with his group.
I guess it would take me, 10 days to make 1 million. Or to make 1 million viewers. Here, I thought I was getting 4 million a month, and I'm getting 3 million a month. Well, that's still not bad, right?
I think that's great.
Well, I told you that one time. WQED in Pittsburgh called me and said, "You get more viewers than we do." I was like, "Thank you." Now, let's see. Is there anything else that you want to talk about that I might have missed or? The
only other new thing that I could think of is we were talking at our staff meeting. We have a staff meeting every Wednesday morning before the show, and a couple of the things that we were talking about in there I thought might be interesting to this audience. We're building that 2.5-acre vacation rotation enclosure for the cats so that they can have a 2-week vacation out in this much larger enclosure.
I saw that. It's great. I'll vacation there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We've gotten one wall done, but we still need to get the last 3 walls completed. Mm-hmm. And we'll be sending out the Big Cat Times very shortly to ask people to help us do that. One of the reasons I really want to get this done in a hurry is because Flavio, the world's oldest tiger, he doesn't have long, and I really want him to be able to go out into that cage and to be able to walk until he can't walk any longer without hitting another wall. I want him to be able to look up at the sky at night and see the stars instead of a caged roof over his head. And I can't do that until those walls are up. So I'm really hoping people will help us get that finished. But one of the small asks that we have, I mean, that's $123,000 we're still trying to raise for that. But one of the issues that comes with a huge enclosure like that is that we don't have any way to tranquilize an animal if they were to get out in the middle of that cage. And for some reason, we had to go in the cage.
Right.
Let's say they were sick or injured or something, and we couldn't get out there to them. We would have to tranquilize them before we walked into the cage. And we don't have a gun, a dart gun, that would shoot that far. And the dart gun that we need is $3,000. And so I'm really hoping that some of our supporters out there might get in together and make that happen for us so that we have a safe way of making sure the cats who are out there can be retrieved if they end up in a situation where they can't come to the side for themselves. Right. It kind of made me wonder about that girl who was just killed a couple of days ago in Cambria by one of the lions. They said she had worked at that zoo for years and that she was very proficient and she was feeding the cats, and when they found her, she was inside the cage and had been mauled to death. And I got to thinking, what would happen if she really wasn't somebody that was stupid enough to think, hey, I could just go in with these cats? Did she see a cat choking or something where she thought, I have to save that cat, and then ended up being killed by the cat? Nobody saw it, so nobody knows for sure what happened there.
I would say the latter, because, especially if she was like experienced,
Yeah.
So she was like, not to step into a thing with a cat. I mean, that's something you pick up after working with them for a while. Unless they're choking. However, I think instinct of wanting to protect your animals, if they're big. I mean, hey, I once saw a tiger choking on a big old chicken bone thing, right? And actually it did eventually delodge itself out of its throat, but yet I wanted to jump over the fence and get in there and just rip it out. And it wasn't even my time, so
you can see how that could be, how that could happen, and you would be thinking to yourself, well, the cat can't breathe, so they can't hurt me. But the minute you pull that chicken bone out, now they can breathe, and now they're going to hurt you, because they're not like people. It's not like, oh, thank you, you saved my life. They're like, oh, you look like a great toy.
And where's this at again? Where was that at?
I believe it was Cambria. It was in the UK.
Right. See, and then even there, I mean, attitudes might be a little bit different there too. So
well, they said they don't allow any contact there.
No, they don't.
Yeah, so that's what made me wonder, well, how did this happen? Was she just breaking the rules, or was there something that really made her think that she was safe?
Maybe somebody, maybe there's another person in the tower, there could 100 things. I wonder if they have security footage or something. No, you probably already heard about that.
Yeah, I think if they did, they would have put it on the air. The BBC said that the authorities are investigating it, right, but they haven't come up with anything that said how that actually happened. It was a 24-year-old woman named Sarah McClay, and the place was in Dalton-in-Furness, UK, at a place called South Lakes Wild Animal Park.
Wow. That just goes to prove to you, once again, folks, that you should not have tigers or anything exotic. If you want an exotic animal, get a stuffed animal, get a picture. Go film them. Listen, the best way to go hunting for exotic animals or animals in general is to go film them. It's more satisfactory to do that than it is to shoot them. I know one of my most favorite things to do is to film wildlife. It is it's a total freaking joy to do. So do that instead of breeding them. Find out where they live. Go to countries. All that money that you would spend on breeding an animal, taking care of it, use that money to go find, where you can go take pictures of it, or go, without, or I don't know, just try to do it without harming the animal. Okay?
And that is so important, David. I feel like people ask me all the time, what do you think about zoos? And I feel like as long as people can pay $10 to go see the animals at the zoo, they're not going to be spending the money to save the habitat. And that's what we really need to be doing, is putting that money into protecting wild areas where people can do things without hurting animals. and be benefiting the animals who live there. So like photo safaris and that sort of thing. One of my favorite quotes was to take nothing but photos and leave nothing but footprints.
Right.
And I think that says what you just said. It's to go in and get those beautiful images that you can share with people, and you can teach children about these wild animals.
Right, you get that feeling of, because us as carnivores, we like the thrill of the hunt too. So you get the thrill of the hunt by finding it, and they, like Carole said, they do have areas that are sanctuaries for animals that are, it's like a big area of jungle stuff, that you can go there and visit and, find the animals and film them that way, and it leaves the animals intact. That's the way to do it instead of some zoo. Who wants to be in some zoo? Would you want to, you as humans watching, would you want to be in some zoo? Even though you probably feel like your life is in a zoo. Once again, I would like to...
Some of us especially.
I would like to remind you that these squares here are for your advertisement. So if you're a place that feeds animals, you know what I mean? You sell approved pet food. Your logo could go there. If you're a humane society and you're wanting a little recognition, your logo can go right there. If you make clothes for cats, like domestic cats, say you make sweaters for domestic cats, your logo go right there. If you make cat scratchers, right there. See that? All that. And we could be getting you all kinds of business. It doesn't have to be local. You could be, say you're an internet company and and you have an animal line, fish food line, anything. Put your logo right here, and I can guarantee you, I don't know, I may be able to guarantee you that you will sell some product by advertising with us.
You can't guarantee that they'll sell, but you can guarantee that they'll be seen.
Yeah, that's true. Right, what she said. That's what she said. But we need your sponsorship to continue on, because, it does cost a lot of money to do this. These cameras cost a lot of money. This beautiful cafe costs a lot of money. But all this stuff costs money. And currently, right now, we're pretty much bankrolling it ourselves. And, bankrolls don't last forever. Okay.
So do you have like a PayPal account or something where people can help out with the show?
Oh, that's a good idea. I need to make a donation one, right? Is that
you wouldn't be able to accept donations because you're not a nonprofit, but you could... I don't know how that works, actually.
I thought you can you have to be a nonprofit to take donations?
I think so. Like here in the state of Florida, you have to be registered with the IRS, and you have to be registered with the state, and they have to approve you every year to be able to accept donations. But I don't know how that works for something like this, where you're just asking people to help out with the show. I don't know if that's considered the same sort of thing or not. I guess we need to ask an attorney.
And are we making profit off it? Apps? No. I know we're a for-profit company. We just haven't made any profit yet. And if we get this show sponsored, we probably still won't make any profit because it costs so much to do a show. Overall, I'll just be honest with you guys. Overall, in the course of a month, after you do a show, and then after you air it and pay for all the bandwidth and this and that and whatever, each show costs a few $100s. Each one. For right now. And it's actually getting more and more expensive.
But that's not much when you're asking somebody to sponsor a show, to be able to say, look, you made this whole show happen. So I think people might really be able to get behind something like that. We kind of do that with our donations for the cats, to say, if you donate $1,500, that feeds a tiger for a month. Or if you feed $50, that feeds a bobcat for a month, so that people know when they make their donation how much it's covering.
Well, here's a real good reason to advertise on. Now, we're actually the new way of TV. You're going to see a lot more IP TV stations popping up in the world. We're one of the first people to do it. Now, the reason why it's more beneficial to advertise with us than, say, print media is because I can guarantee you, and that is not a may, that's a for sure, I can guarantee you a lot of people every single day. Where if you're in a magazine or a newspaper, hey, they're great places to advertise too. But if you're in one, most likely the person is going to just see you one time. Very rarely do people go through a magazine again and again and understand your ad and look at it. This is what people do in a magazine, to a newspaper. They don't even notice the ads. Okay, now in a broadcast, if you watch regular TV, there's a million ads, so you don't pay attention to those either. Now the way we do it is, in our broadcast, we only show a few ads, between videos, maybe 1 or 2, and it's after like 10 videos. And then, if we have them in the broadcast, we simply just put your logo up there, or else we talk about your product. But the thing is, that's every day, especially if it's in the broadcast. Every single day, you are guaranteed several thousand viewers. Every day, guaranteed. That's true. So, I can give you more viewers to your ad in a week than an average publication can do in a whole month. I'd probably do it free in a day, to be honest with you, but that's just the truth. So if you really want to sell your product, give us a try. I'll give you some introductory offer. I don't know. I'm sure.
And you actually have a way of documenting the kinds of views that you're getting. So you could send, I'm thinking, probably a screenshot or something that shows the number of views that any particular show got, right?
Yes. Yeah, I can do that. And then also you can go to Justin.tv, and right below the player has our viewers there. It has how many are watching the show at the moment and how many viewers overall that we've had. So we're about to reach the 1 million mark for the other station. For this station, I'm not sure what the mark is yet. But you know what? I'll be honest with you, because I've been trying to get the studio all built and all that stuff, and that is a lot of the work relies. It takes a long time to do these things. So I kind of have things planned out, where things will get my focused attention. Starting in June, really, is when Wild Animal Television is going to get a lot more of my focused attention, because then I'll have all my tools in place. I had to wait for new cameras to come in. They're here. Had to wait for new lighting. It's here. We're getting our other stage ready outside. So everything's pretty much coming together now. That's why you notice the quality of the show is even a lot better. So as things slowly come together, or quickly in terms of business, as things quickly come together, things will be improving. We're going to expand our shows for Wild Animal Television now that we have our tools in place. Welcome to the new Wild Animal Television.
Wonderful.
And
starting Saturday, it will be June.
What's that?
Starting Saturday, it will be June.
It will be already. And June is a big month for us for our other station. June is the month. And we're having an open house here at the studios in June. Around the second week of June, I think we're going to open up, June 12th or something like that. We're opening up, and people can come and walk through, see all of our, because we literally have 3 studios. We're a sprawling studio. We're very lucky. We have, we have a dressing room, we have offices, a lobby. That's on one floor. Then on the lower floor, we have our studios. We have a green screen studio, a photography studio, and then we have a live studio audience studio. And if you're local, or if you come to town, you can rent our studios as well. And if you would like to know about rates, give us a call. We give you a really nice, all of our stuff's new and high end, and so we give you a nice little place to do your product from start to finish. And,
that's a great idea.
Well, I think we're even I'll be talking to my partner, but I believe we'll be opening up an editing suite too, that you can even edit your stuff here. Actually, you kind of currently can, but so you can actually film. Say you're like a podcaster, and you want to do a nice quality show. You could do your show here, from beginning product to end. Oh, we also make not just for us. Say you have a product. Say you're a pet food company, and you would like your product nicely filmed, maybe with a spokesperson talking about. Maybe you want a nice commercial made. Doesn't have to be on our station. Maybe you just want it for your arsenal. It could be any product. Give us a call. We also have those capabilities as well to make nice for advertising. Make your ads for you at really competitive prices.
You know what I would love to see you do on the Cat Chat show is maybe contact your local Humane Society and say, hey, we have this show, and it's every Wednesday at noon, and you can bring in your kitten of the day that needs to be adopted, and they could actually bring the kitten on and show everybody, and so your local people would be able to actually go in and adopt that kitten.
That will be done. I don't know. You know, I wish I had somebody here to take notes. I'm going to do that. That's very, very good.
I'll send you an email.
Okay, will you do that seriously? Because that'll help me remember. Okay, I think that's a brilliant idea. Excuse me. It's not even that far away. I'm sure it's something they'll do.
It's great exposure for them, and then they'll be promoting your show out there to other people who love animals. So I think that could be a win-win.
Yeah, and we'll save a cat probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming to the ending of our show. I think we started a few minutes late, but whatever. Before we wrap it up, Carole, is there anything new up there at bigcatrescue.org, your website?
Just one thing. I have a webcam in our cat hospital right now who is on Lovey, the bobcat who just got spayed. Mm-hmm. And it's a different type of webcam than what I've been using. The iPad's shut off for some reason. I don't know how to keep them on. I'm going to check the settings on there today. But anyway, this new webcam is done with Baskin, and so it hooks directly to the router and sends it straight out to the internet. The downside to it is that you have to actually be invited to see the stream, and then you have to join Belkin for free, and then you can log in anytime and see anything that's going on inside the cat hospital. So if anybody wants me to invite them to that stream, if they would send me an email, my email address is cat, C-A-T, at bigcatrescue.org, cat at bigcatrescue.org, and tell me that they want to see the hospital cam, and I'll invite them to that cam.
All right. You know, if you could also send that to me, because then what we'll do is we will have where we check in for the show. We'll have where we check into the hospital cam, and then we'll go ahead and show it on the show here. We'll check in.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, because we could have it right here. We could have it in one of the squares.
We were even talking about doing it with surgeries when we know we're going to have surgery to put out, to have that webcam out to our major donors and such, that they could actually be making sure that they're logging in and watching during the surgery.
Right, and can you move that? And you could move that camera anywhere, kind of.
Yes.
Oh, because I think in the future it'd be neat to even do some other things with it, while we're doing the show here, we could have a view of the park. I'm sorry, it's not a park. The sanctuary.
It has to be close to a hot spot, but I can get, outside the door and go, oh, this is it outside the door.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's some creative possibilities there, I believe. That might be interesting, because we always want to create a nice, interesting, fun, happy, cat-loving show.
And anybody can go to kittencam.com and see the cams that we have set up on our kittens.
Oh, let's maybe if we can, we'll get that next time. Yeah, we'll definitely check it. I didn't know that you had, maybe I did know, but I didn't know you can go to kittencam.com. That's a great website to get, the name.
They were wanting something like $12,000 or something for that website, and I offered them $300, and they took it.
They were just, that's so funny. They probably would take 100. Well, okay. I hope I touched on everything that you wanted to talk about.
Did a great job. Thank you so much, David.
You're welcome. And I got to touch on what I wanted to touch on, which was please stop breeding exotic animals. Them poor sloths can't take it anymore. And, I'm David Stanton. And
I'm Carole Baskin.
Right. And thank you for joining us, Carole Baskin, because this is your show. So thank you, David Stanton, for joining, Carole. And thank you, everybody, for watching Cat Chat. We'll see you next Wednesday at 12 noon, right here on
Eastern Standard Time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Carole.
Bye.